So 2011, you're on the red carpet at the porn awards here in Las Vegas, and then you stopped going, and then you stopped got out of porn. What
I just
happened?
kind of drifted away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had other things going on in life.
Like, what did you do for the next so many years?
For about 3 years, I was Steve Crest, a police mainstream actor. So I used my police car and uniforms and
Uh huh.
was a police technical advisor and stunt coordinator and tried to do everything on the D-list movies.
Yeah.
So did a whole bunch of those.
Wait. So why are you a police expert?
I was a police officer back in the 80s,
Oh
80s and
yeah.
early 90s.
So you
Yeah.
were a police officer.
Yeah.
What kind of police officer?
A handsome one. Actually, a faithfully married one. I always did the whole, the ring doesn't come off thing, which, one of the reasons I became, did a lot of police scenes in porn was, I never got to live out any of those women trying to seduce a cop type of scenarios when I was actually working. So also didn't want to get fired because that was something that could get you fired.
So you didn't like fuck people in cars or anything?
I didn't. Not till porn. Fucked
Yeah.
a lot of women on cars. I had a weld-in support on the hood. Did so much fucking on the hood of the car that the hood was caving in. Yeah, the body shop that was painting it, I was asking if they had any paint that was more elastic to deal with the. I was trying to explain and I don't speak Spanish, like me with the porno with the da 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 and the paint has to flex and they're like, oh, okay, we got it. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, that's great. How many cars do you think that you fucked in or on in your life?
Fuck. I make it a point not to fuck in or around cars.
Why?
But in porn, it's a bed is like the holy grail. Like 1 out of 20 scenes is on a bed, but I fucked on a rock about the size of an apartment.
Oh.
I fucked on, more school tables than you could ever imagine, and desks and washing machines and kitchen counters, and that's just kind of the porn thing.
Oh my god.
But sex in a car, I'm usually the nah. I'm gonna go home and fuck her at home.
I don't.
Or I'm just not gonna fuck her. I'm gonna go home and jerk off because I'm good at that.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Well, I get it. What do you mean a rock? You fucked on a rock.
I fucked on a rock. It was literally they put towels on it to keep it cool. But this is Chatsworth, California, and it's like 105
I mean, who has
degrees
an
out.
idea? Who's like, hey, let's get you to fuck on a rock?
Katie Morgan is who I worked with. She has
Oh, I
a
love
tattoo of a
her.
frog right here, and I think she's in a relationship with Evan Stone, who's one of the funniest guys
Yeah.
ever to be in porn. He's a fun guy.
Uh-huh. I know both of them. I don't know them personally, but I've met them and interviewed both of them.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
her.
Good people.
Love her.
Good people.
Yeah. Where is
Yeah.
she living now?
I think they're here in Vegas.
They're in here still.
They're here in
Because
Vegas.
she's been here for like a decade or more.
Yeah, yeah, and he's always with her, so I'm assuming that they're in a relationship.
Wow, they really
Yeah.
lasted then because they've been
Yeah.
around for a while together.
That's super cool.
You're also still racing cars and stuff, or what?
I'm building a race car. I have a
Yeah.
Porsche 917 replica that I'm building.
You know what? I was telling somebody that you and I both know that I was watching. When I watch your porn, the feeling I get about you is that your technique is really good, and you have like this beautiful dick, but also that you have a kindness to you, but not a pushover kindness. So you
Yeah.
like have a sensitivity, but you're not a welcome mat. That's like what kind
Yeah.
of comes across in
Yeah.
porn of you.
It kind of goes back to my law enforcement days. There's a pretty famous thing. Don't confuse my kindness for weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just something about carrying yourself in that manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Very different professions, though.
Yeah. So before we started recording, you were telling me this great story about how you got into porn and how you were like, oh, you don't, tell me that story again about how you weren't sure you wanted, why you,
I was
like, who convinced you to get in?
I was an escort in San Francisco, and I had a client who wanted lights off, eat her out for an hour and a half, fuck her for an hour and a half, go, don't say a word. And at the end of the 3 hours, she says, I changed my mind. I want to spend the night with you. And we fucked all night. And the next morning, she told me who she was. I had no idea that she was Keisha. And I realized, wow, I've jerked off to her back in the past. And she said I should be in porn. And I said, porn's degrading to women. It's disrespectful. It's toxic. It's objectifying. I don't want anything to do with that business. And she said that's exactly why you should get in, because she thought I had the skill to help change that, to kind of move the needle a little bit. Because porn, overall needs to teach men to be pigs, because a woman will sense that and reject them. And if they're rejected, they're going to go home and watch what they couldn't get in real life. And then they become more toxic and turn off more women, and then all they do is watch porn instead of actually having sex, because having sex is a lot funner.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, you've stumbled on something I've been curious about for a long time in my life, which is that there are a lot of partners in sex that want you to take control of them. I mean, most of them, right? I feel like most people that you get with in life want to relax and follow, right? But am I wrong?
No. I mean, in traditionally, women are passive and men are aggressive.
Yeah.
And things are changing a little bit. Women are getting a little bit more aggressive sexually,
Yeah.
but that's a matter of having more partners and trying to figure out what they want. And
Yeah.
and women didn't go into sex for orgasms back in the day. They went into sex for, now I could have a house and kids and all that, because a woman needed a man for hundreds of generations, and women have their own careers now. They don't need a man, they want a man, and there's
Yeah.
a huge fundamental difference, and women are starting to find their feet and figure out what they really do want from sex. So
Yeah.
the roles they're getting a little blurrier.
Yeah, and then now, as in the past, even if they want that, no matter how they come at you, it is like you say, they still want to feel safe.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm getting at too. Is that even if a woman or anybody wants to be dominated or something, they still want like boundaries and safety.
Yeah, it's a very fine edge sword that they're teetering on.
Yeah.
Because there's the fantasy. Some women have like a rape fantasy or a super aggressive sex fantasy, but they also want to feel completely safe too, because things change.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was getting at, because the story you were telling about why you got into porn, to be good at it, but also to be respectful, because in a lot of situations in sex, if you're looking from the outside, you might be like, oh, that looks disrespectful. But it's not really. It's two consenting adults being respectful of each other's desires within the boundaries of safety and security and all that stuff.
Yeah, discussion. I mean, knowledge overcomes all fears. So knowing what your sex partner wants before you even start is huge.
Yeah. If some guy's watching this and he's like, what are the tips? What are your tips?
Ooh, okay. Well, in porn, kissing is fifth base. So probably 60% of the pornos, the woman was not going to kiss me, even if the director begged for it, because kissing's emotional, and a lot of women are just there for the work, and that's their limit. That's like, they'd rather have two dicks in the butt than kiss, because kissing is emotional. So a lot of guys watch porn and there's no kissing. I've had directors say, hey, fast forward to something else, we're going to edit that out anyways, which I saw as shocking. But if a guy doesn't see kissing in porn, they start thinking that, sex is about the penetration and the blowjob and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they forget about that. And that's the number one way to get a woman going.
Yeah.
Like, look at your clock radio. And if you're not making out with her for 20 minutes before the clothes come off, I mean, yeah, you could get some fingers down the pants and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But if you're not giving her more making out than she's had with the last guy, she's going to go back to the last guy.
Yeah. What is the key to good kissing?
Enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've said forever, the number one trait of people that are good at sex is enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Because enthusiasm will then drive the desire to be good at it, or to be a giver, to know how to take well, all that stuff.
Yeah. And typically a woman is going to kiss you the way they want to be kissed back. So if you're paying attention to how she's kissing you and you start replicating what she's doing, that's kind of what she wants.
So you can just mirror what they're giving.
Mirror what they're giving, yeah.
So the last porn convention in town back in January, I made out with a couple of porn stars. And what I realized was they were phenomenal kissers. And then I went, oh, of
but
course
they liked you and you're charismatic and they wanted to kiss you.
Yeah. But also, since they're good at fucking, they're going to be good at kissing.
But you got good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some women in porn that are considered clock watchers. They're just there for the paycheck. Yeah.
I have to say,
it's a rule of thirds. There's like a third are nymphomaniacs. They love sex and they're passionate. A third are just there for the paycheck, and the other third, they have good days and bad days. Guys they like, guys they don't, and you never know what you're going to get with them.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
But it's difficult to perform with the clock watchers, because unless you go to a prostitute or if you're a porn star, you're never in a position where you're having sex with somebody who doesn't want to have sex with you.
Yeah.
So it's the only two times that you're going to be in that, and that's where you really earn your salt.
That's really interesting. I think this is one of the questions I get the most from people is they say that are people fucking just for the money, and I go, I don't think so. I think that back in the when I talked to like Nina Hartley from the old days, from the late 70s and early 80s, Nina will be like, she told me what she goes, back in the old days we all did it because we wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
And we lost our chance to have careers elsewhere because we were unhirable in any other capacity.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of money.
And by the way, I have so much respect for her. She is the woman who has done more for women's sexuality than any other person who has walked the planet
really?
Earth.
Yeah. Why do you say
all
that?
the instructionals. Actually, funny thing is, I'd never watched a porno before when I was 18, and I saw her at a porn convention that was attached to the San Francisco airport. And being an 18-year-old dumb fuck, I walked up to her and said, "Oh, I'm going to be a porn star someday, and I'll work with you." And she goes, "Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's great, honey." And she signed the autograph. And I think it was 18 years later, I ended up working with her. And I said, "Hey, you know what? I didn't mean it 18 years ago, but I did say that I was going to work with you someday."
Wow.
And here I am. But I have so much respect for her. She's just absolutely incredible woman.
Yeah,
and I accidentally came in her eye once. I was in a three-way with a woman I was dating, her. It was my second scene with Nina. A woman I was dating, her, and another woman I thought was really hot. And my, not that powerful of a pop shot guy, but I guess I had the power that day and nailed her in the eye. The woman I respect the most in porn, but I did have the emergency eye wash in my porn bag. I always kept that. I was always the gentleman on set that would have the baby wipe to clean up their faces and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did she roll with it?
Oh yeah, she was great, but it crushed my heart because like she is literally, the definition of a legend in the business.
The thing about
and she's a great kisser.
Oh, she
really,
is.
really good kisser. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. The thing about when the first time I met her and talked to her, I thought, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to a university professor.
Yeah.
She's super
plethora
smart.
of information.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she
Well,
told me...
because think of it, she probably gets emails all day long from women that I'm having this psychological barrier to orgasm, I'm having this physiological barrier to orgasm. Who else are they going to go to talk to? Like, she is the expert. So her inbox is probably filled with more questions that if she has the answer for, it makes her even more intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the real deal.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah, so she told me, so Nina Hartley told me that when she started the business, everybody did it for the fucking.
Yeah.
And then in the late 90s and early 2000s, everybody did it for the money. And then
Not the men though. The men, you can't fake a hard on.
Right.
You either got one or not.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty performance intense. Because the thing is, you watch a scene that's 20 minutes, and you go, "Wow, that guy fucked really hard for 20 minutes." Like, no, that took 2.5 hours to shoot.
Yeah.
Start, stop, adjust the lighting. And she needs a drink. She needs to go smoke a cigarette. Yeah. Longest scene I ever did was 9 hours.
Oh my God.
With 3 women. Yeah. Absolutely insane. But the director was, "Dare you point your elbow at the camera? If you point your elbow at the camera again, I'll have you kicked off the set."
Oh my
The guy was an absolute maniac.
Oh, so it just took a long time because he was so demanding.
Yeah, I mean, he would literally spend 5 minutes positioning the woman, and then now fuck her. I'm like, how? She looks like a origami experiment. She defies all the laws of physics just to even get on the bed with her. Yeah.
9 hours.
Yeah, the sun was coming up for the pop shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just had the one come.
I just had the one come.
Yeah.
That's the thing about porn. You can't come until they tell you.
Right.
But the good thing is, I was always the closer. I was always the last scene of the day. Hey, we're running 4 hours late. But they knew that within 30 seconds of calling for the pop shot, they'd had the pop shot. Because they've been holding back the whole
So
time.
you can come on command?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
I can ramp up and come in 30 seconds when
Really?
it's time. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you're working with somebody really hot to fuck for 2 hours and not come, that's when you have to start thinking about, baseball or whatever the most boring thing you could think of.
Do you just take a break at that point? You
can't say time out. Now, if she wants to go smoke a cigarette or call her boyfriend or something, women rule the sets. Like, they could get away with anything. They're 3 hours late on set. Nobody says a word.
Yeah.
But if a guy says, "Hey, hold on, I'm overheated here," that's your job is to be able to do it.
Right. And so now you say, so Nina told me that once the internet really took off, so many years ago, and now on your phones, that a lot more people get into porn for the fucking. And so now you think it's a rule of three. So you think it's a third or
That was from 2002 to 2011 when I was doing porn
okay.
full time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it's like now, but I did hear a lot of women saying that the men that getting into porn right now are super, super arrogant. They think it's about them, which it's not, and they treat them like they're the star, which is kind of sad because a man should always feel like they won a prize when they get to have sex with somebody.
Uh-huh.
But they're coming in with a big ego.
That's weird because when I look at a lot of porn, a lot of it looks like women are in charge of it a lot. Now.
Well, they have what everybody wants to see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I'm always like, I get why some people think porn is whatever to women. But to me, when I look at all the porn, there's so many jerk off encouragements and so many stepmoms and so many femdoms and a lot of women that are in charge of men.
Yeah, well, women. If you go to the gym now, the women look better than the guys do. As far as
Right.
if somebody at whatever level of athleticism, because back when I was growing up, it was about big hair and makeup, and women were never at the gym. And now, pretty much half of the gym is women, and most of them look like they've got the $200 leggings on, and they're dressed to be looked at.
When I see women when I see especially like porn star type influencers, and they're doing the stairs thing and their bubble butts are I'm like, and I watch them do this thing with their legs for an hour kicking out while they're on the stairs. I'm like, oh, I have a lot of respect for that.
It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of times that I don't want to go to the gym, but I go to the gym because I know I'm going to get some good views.
So what is the fastest amount of time that you went from saying hello to a stranger to being inside them?
Ooh. A porn woman or a regular woman?
Anybody.
I've had a couple 15-minute types. I never go to bars. I refuse to have sex with somebody who's been drinking. I've never fucked a drunk woman in my life.
That's great.
I think it's kind of rapey.
Yeah.
I was lucky that I overheard some women talking about the regret of sleeping with somebody that they were drunk when they slept with them. And I heard that at a young age, and I thought to myself, "Oh, how humiliating! I wouldn't want to be that guy."
I've turned out a million people who were drunk.
Yeah,
a million.
Yeah. They're sloppy sex, anyways. I mean, I've seen it before. I've heard my friends talk about it. I wouldn't want it.
I had this person recently. She goes, she said that she thought she was better in bed when she's drunk, and I go, no, you're way better when you're sober.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, you are actually enjoying it more instead of just wandering around drunk in your head.
I just tell women, I said, if I can't seduce you sober, then I shouldn't be seducing you in the first place.
No, okay, so this is one of my things I wanted to ask you about. Do you get off on seduction?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I do pretty well when a woman meets me at my house because I show them my race car, I show them my art, I show them my shop, I show them my fish tank, show them my award for eating pussy, the only man on the planet with an award for eating pussy, and my Hall of Fame. And by that time, you're in the bedroom and things go pretty well. But meeting them for, bagels or something like that, sometimes they're not really wanting to follow you home.
Oh.
And so the seduction thing is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, because I think a lot of women are like, well, I'm at this guy's house, and he's got these trophies, and I've seen his dick online, and pretty much a foregone conclusion. Mm-hmm. But the seduction is, like, I'm super disappointed when they don't want to have sex, but then again, if every single one slept with you, then it would be a little bit boring, There's always that chance that they won't. But I have a pretty good closure rate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you didn't, if you hit the roulette wheel every single time, it wouldn't be a roulette wheel.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming their odds are better than roulette wheel. Wait, so you also have like an online dating profile, right?
Yeah.
And in your profile, do you say like I'm a world-class pussy eater?
On the
in
profile,
some way?
I got kicked off of almost every single one of them. I think they're employees that just spend their whole lunch hour just deleting the profiles of guys that look like they have game.
Oh.
Because every single one of those dating apps I've been kicked off of, except for the one I'm on now.
No way.
Yeah. So I don't want any hater to go on there and make a woman's profile and kick me off.
Man, that's not cool.
Cock blockers.
I think I might have you beat though on from saying hi to being inside someone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think several times it's for me. I've had 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Well, I'm not including swinger clubs because that's
No, I'm not including swinger clubs.
Oh, okay. Wow.
My fastest was somebody messaged me on Facebook to come over and just whatever, say hi, and then walked in and took their clothes off.
Nice.
So that was just what some people call free pizza.
Free pizza.
You know,
Yeah,
you can't turn
there
down
you
free pizza.
By the way, one of the grossest things ever is getting a blowjob through a sausage pizza with the sausage grease on your dick.
I'm sorry, hold on. What is
No,
what?
there's big sausage pizza. I probably did like 15 scenes for them where you show up and they open up the pizza and your dick is sticking through the middle of the pizza. And yeah, so she starts blowing you and you're just like looking at your dick and it's got that orangey pizza grease on your dick. Yeah.
That's
I always
hilarious.
wash off before the intercourse on that one.
Wait, is that the most gross thing that you've ever done?
Oh, no. Not even near. I was in porn for 9 years. There's been some gross stuff.
What magic phrase can a lover say to you that'll make you come faster? And what magic phrase would you say to a lover to make them come faster?
I do like asking them where I'm at and what's there and getting them to talk dirty. And for so many women,
Wait, what does that mean?
Well, where am I? You're inside of me. What's inside of you? Your dick. What kind of dick? My big fat dick. And you start getting them to talk dirty. And a lot of women have never, ever done that in their life. And it's kind of a thrill to see them talk that way. And I think it just kind of heightens the moment, which is pretty cool. What was the first part of the question?
Oh, what? All right, so for a lover to say a magic phrase to you to make you come faster.
That they're coming. That's, yeah. I typically like there's some women that you'll work your butt off for an hour to get them to come once or twice. And there's some women that could come every minute.
Yeah.
And, there's some women that could come 100 times in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's just like boom, 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 boom. And most of them are equestrians. Was she an equestrian?
I went out with this woman some years ago and she came every 8 seconds.
Okay.
And she wanted to come for an hour and a half. And
Wow.
I said, in your previous long-term relationship, did you have this? And she goes, no. I go, how did you survive? And she goes, it was difficult. And then she's like, you're the first person in, maybe ever that make me come this much.
Most of the women like that were or are equestrians because the cantering as they're riding the horse builds up the muscles for
She
that.
was an athlete, but not an equestrian.
Might have been a pole vaulter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you should talk about talking to women because I've talked to a couple of porn star women who say that what they get off on is when their significant other, when they're out on the town, they'll whisper something to them, or if they're in a car, they'll say, I'm going to do this to you later, and they're prepping them, and then when they're in bed, they're vocal.
Yeah.
And so I'm really vocal. So I can be domineering or whatever it is, I'm just saying things. And it's amazing. Like, I think that a lot of people discount that. Some people even say, like, I just want quiet. Like, not to me, but I talk to friends who are like, I just don't want to hear anything. And I'm like,
I think
no,
the
you're
most
missing
important
out.
thing when you're having sex with somebody is to be memorable. I mean, eat pussy with purpose, fuck with purpose, kiss with purpose, foreplay with purpose, and think to yourself, when she's 90, is she going to look back at the best sex she's ever had at you or somebody else? And if it's somebody else, then you got to change it up.
Jack, that's called the perfectionism syndrome.
Yeah. Nobody's ever perfect though. Like I'm learning something from every lover every single time because I'm paying attention. And I mean, I thought I was pretty good back when I was younger, but I just keep on getting better.
You know what's weird is I felt the same way. Like when I was in my 20s, I was like, I am so good. And then when I was in my 30s, I was like, oh, I'm so much better. And then when I was in 40s, I was like, wow, I'm the king. Now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like a god. It's so weird. I'm not trying to say I'm a god. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
but it's a cumulative knowledge.
if you just listen to what people are, if you listen to the compliments that you get, over time you go like, I get way more now than when my 20s or 30s or 40s.
Well, women are like musical instruments. Oboe and a bass and a trumpet and a flute and a saxophone are all different instruments, but they are played at different tempos, different compositions. And knowing that, oh my God, this woman's a piccolo. I know exactly how to play this, and then halfway through you go, hey, I know a totally better song to play on the piccolo. It's a cumulative knowledge.
I'm so glad you said that, because I heard this comedian say once that every woman's clitoris is like a different safe that has to be unlocked, and some want it twisted this
That's
way.
nice.
But what you're saying is way more romantic and beautiful, and I feel that's right, because when you get with a new lover, at first you're not sure what they're going to respond to, so you try little things here and there, and then you go, oh, and then once you unlock enough things, you go, oh, this reminds me of this person, and they like this, and then you start to just play them you give them the symphony that they require, sort of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You are on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
And you jerk off a lot.
I jerk off
And then
a lot.
you love masturbating.
I do.
Yeah. So
I'm good at it.
What is it that you love about it so much?
I like edging. The only way to be able to have sex with a woman for a couple hours is to be able to get close to orgasm, back off, close to orgasm, back off. And I learned that when I was young. And, when the other guys were fucking for a minute or two, I was doing an hour. Mm-hmm. And those women kept coming back.
Mm-hmm. Do you do dry or do you do lotion, lube?
Coconut oil.
Yeah.
Coconut oil is my favorite.
Shaft or head?
All of it.
Yeah.
I get really close a lot. Like I'm pretty good at it. I've been jerking off since I was like 11.
Oh. You probably haven't jerked off in a shower in like decades, I'm assuming.
No, I don't bother with that.
I had a girlfriend once, she goes, "You don't jerk off in the shower?" I'm like, I'm not 13. I don't hide it. I'm romantic with it, Why would I want to hide it? This is the thing I don't understand about society, is it's better now, of course, but even now in culture, it's easier for women to talk about masturbating than men still. A little bit.
But women have so many toys now. Oh my God, you should see my toy drawers. I have 5 toy drawers now.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to build a tool roll away underneath my bed.
That's so smart.
I need more storage.
Oh, that's so smart.
Toys keep on getting bigger too.
Yeah.
A lot of size queens out there.
But the thing is that you still can't, for the clit, you still can't beat the old-fashioned magic wand.
Yeah,
right.
Magic wand is awesome.
And then the sucky one that won the award, I forget what it's called. The
Satisfier
latches, 2.
Yeah, it latches onto them. Yeah.
Oh man,
men will be extinct pretty soon. You better come up with some good stuff.
What do you fantasize about when you're fucking someone or jerking off? And is it different?
I'm big on anal virginities. I'm shocked at how many women still haven't had anal.
Yeah.
And to get their anal virginity, especially being big and girthy, that's a big turn on, because anal is 100% about trust. So foreplay, having them want it more than you want it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like one of the mistakes that men often make with anal is you have to lead up to it. You have to like warm that, you have to like kind of.
You could pry any asshole open with a tongue. That's the secret. And if you don't eat ass, you don't deserve to be fucking ass.
Okay. Now this is a beautiful motto. All right, let's explore this again. Say that again. You can do what? You can pry open any. Wait.
Yeah, you could pry open any asshole with a tongue.
Yeah.
And if you can't get her to gape with your tongue action, then you just don't have good tongue action.
And how many minutes do you think that would take for you normally?
I can't see myself eating ass for less than about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a minimum amount.
Yeah.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just go an hour of eating their ass. Just lay them down on their stomach and pull those cheeks apart and go to town.
Yeah. How many times do you come a day?
2 or 3 times usually.
Yeah.
I usually have a woman spend the night, have sex with her in the morning, then do a solo show at noon, or have a lover come at noon, and then have another woman come over and spend the night.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, typically 3 times.
So you normally will have a woman stay over,
mm-hmm.
and then explain that again.
So I have one that spent the night. I'll have sex with her in the morning. Around noon, I'll usually do a solo show or have a lover come over.
You mean on OnlyFans?
Actually, not very many women want to perform on OnlyFans.
No, I mean the solo shows.
Oh, the solo shows on OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I'll usually have a date at night.
Yeah.
So I usually come 3 times a day.
How the fuck do you find all these women?
They find me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because women watch a lot of porn now. They didn't back in the past, but all the free porn sites really changed things up.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of I live in Las Vegas, so it's the perfect city for, hey, next month I'm coming to Las Vegas for a convention. And I'm wondering if you could, you know, show me how you won that award for eating pussy.
Wow. Are they
Yeah.
finding you through OnlyFans or Twitter or what?
OnlyFans, Twitter, my website, jacklawrencexxx.com,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And all the dating apps you've gotten thrown off of
Yeah.
for being better than everybody else.
I wouldn't say better than everybody else, but
What a bunch of haters on
what
these
a bunch of
dating apps.
haters, man, cock blockers. But it is kind of funny. The Uber and Lyft drivers tend to know who I am. I've jumped in Ubers before. Like, I've dropped 3 different women over at your house in the last 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. What are the odds of that, right?
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Do you like it when do you like that? Like when people go like, "Oh, I've seen that guy come on himself, like everything." Do you like that feeling?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are who don't go into porn are like, "Oh, I wouldn't want people to know that." But you like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. How long did it take you to make that transition when you first got into porn? To get into that mentality where you liked it?
I've just been trying to get laid my whole life. Like, I really have. It's just all about strategy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I love the exposure. I love it when people come up to me and say, "Where do I know you from?" I usually say, "If you remember where you knew me from, you probably wouldn't admit it."
So you never had a problem. You were never like, "Oh, I'm worried that
I
someone's
lack
gonna..."
the shy gene. It's a recessive gene,
Oh yeah.
and
Right.
my grandfather lacked it, and my father lacked it, and
Uh-huh.
I lacked it.
Wait, so how do you know they lacked the shy gene?
Because my dad was a swinger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you see a lot of naked people when you were a kid? Because I
I didn't. No,
saw.
I didn't meet my biological dad till I was 18. From
Oh.
5 to 18, I didn't know him.
Oh, okay.
But when I met him, I realized that at first it was like, hey, you need to leave the house because we got a swingers party, and that's where I got my first pager. We'll
Yeah.
page you when the party's over. So
Oh.
I go watch a couple movies and come back and change my sheets.
Wow.
Yeah, kicked out of your own house.
Wow.
That was not fun.
I didn't grow up with a dad, and I grew up with a hippie mom until she took off. But I saw more naked women from 0 to whatever as a kid than most people see their whole lives. Because there were all these like naked hippies,
Yeah.
And
My mom was a hippie, but she wasn't a naked hippie.
oh, she wasn't.
Yeah,
And so
she-
and her friends weren't.
Yeah, they always wore clothes.
Are you ever gonna want to get married and have like a just a closed relationship, or are you gonna be an open relationship?
I've been
guy?
married 3 times. Faithful, monogamous, the first one. Second one, we started off as swingers, and then as soon as we got married, she said she didn't want to be a swinger anymore, so just don't fuck my friends and don't tell my friends. So that kind of mixed things up. Third one was a porn star, Annie Cruz. Met her on set, and or actually met her at a convention, and then on set she requested me, and that was kind of fun. And then I don't think I could ever be monogamous. So if I ever did get married, it would have to be somebody in the lifestyle. But I don't anticipate that. That's not really my thing. I think I'm always going to be chasing women.
You think that you'll live alone? Forever?
I actually have extended family that is basically like that. So that's my home base, so to say.
Yeah.
But as far as my single life, I'm always going to be chasing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you have so many people here on this bed that you're sitting in.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like you're lonely.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and I think there's like a
No, but
real...
I do tend to have 1 or 2 nights a week where I don't have a date. And it's usually not by choice. It's usually, well, I texted those 4 or 5 people and none of them was available. So it's usually not planned that way, but I kind of do need just a little bit of, because I'm not going to, if I get it all the time, I'm not going to appreciate it as much.
Yeah. Right.
So sometimes it's nice to have a drought for, no more than 24 hours.
I've had these lovers that tell me that I should, be a sex worker like I was when I was a teenager, and
That was my favorite profession. That was better than porn.
sex work.
Yeah.
Why?
Because my clients, I advertised for the women that had difficulty reaching orgasm. So I had a lot of really tough nuts to crack. And some of them took, 2 hours of oral or lots of toys or whatever it was. I love the challenge. I love the fact that they were seeing me as the solution to their problem. And I love the fact knowing that, hopefully I got them over this mountain that is going to make every other lover better for them so that they're actually enjoying sex. Because a lot of women have physiological or psychological or both barriers to pleasure. And it's nice to know that they're, going to be having more fun later on.
Mm-hmm. So you were a high-end escort.
I wouldn't say high end, but high skilled.
Yeah.
High skilled. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There was a website called the Eros Guide in San Francisco back in the day and had about 30 male escorts, and probably about 10 were actually working all the time, and 10 were just stolen pictures off of Playgirl, and 10 were guys that I don't think this guy's going to get a client.
Yeah.
But for the 10 of us that were on there, we got pretty busy.
Did you make enough money to retire?
No. Sex doesn't pay for men. Women get twice what men get. So unless somebody has just a ton of fans on OnlyFans or something like that, there just isn't a lot of money in porn.
Yeah.
Or OnlyFans for men.
So you liked sex work more than you liked porn work then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the person there truly wanted to be there. And to tell you the truth, I wouldn't have charged any of them a penny if it wasn't for the fact that that was my profession at the time. And I'm not a super picky person. I don't really have an issue with women that are, traditionally unattractive. I love the fact that they saw me as a treat and they were turned on by me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing sexier than pulling the panties off a woman that you get that big stringer of pussy juice because their panties have been soaked. Mm-hmm. And there's something really sexy about that. Mm-hmm. I like being the person that created that.
Yeah. Wow. And then you've slept with how many people?
I broke 3,333 a couple of months ago, so I haven't added up June yet. June's been a pretty good month so far. But at the end of every month, I go on my phone and I update what the phone number is called Fuck Count, and I update all the new ones. And so I'm probably I can't quote what I'm at right now, but in February is when I broke 33.
Wow.
1/3 of the way to 10,000.
Now, is that everybody that you've made come, or everybody you've been inside?
Everybody I've been inside.
Yeah. Well, what do you include? What if you included all sex acts? That number would probably be bigger.
There are very few women that I went down on that I didn't have sex with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So. Right.
Yeah, there's probably less than 100 that went to third base and didn't go to fourth base.
I love that you called kissing sixth base. That's hilarious.
Fifth base.
That's fifth base. Obviously, fucking and jerking off are a passion for you. And it's not just a job.
Not just a job.
Yeah. So when you took a break for a few years from this, did you miss it?
I honestly got burnt out on it. Yeah. Some things happened that I just thought were super, super uncool. Some, there's a bad side of porn. There's some people in porn that are really bad. There's a ton of people that are really good. It's like a family, and just like every family, there's some, bad apples. And I just saw so many bad apple situations that I just no longer wanted to be involved in that.
I see.
Yeah.
This is one of the great things about OnlyFans is that it's safe, it's profitable.
A performer could exclude the state that they live in or exclude the state that their parents live in.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that gives them some anonymity. I think that's really, especially for the women, that's really important.
Wow.
Yeah, the last thing you want is some stalker.
Wow, I didn't know that you could exclude entire.
You could exclude
areas.
whatever. You just click off the states that you want to exclude.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're a woman, then your dad's not watching or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Holy crap, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, so how long ago did you start OnlyFans?
Probably about 3.5 years ago.
And was it easy?
Yeah, super easy. Just takes a few minutes to sign up. I probably have a 13 or 14,000 posts, 237 cum shots since I started counting, and
Wow. And then now, how many times in those past few years do you think you've jerked off but didn't record it? Do you record all of them?
I record most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just set up a tripod by my bed and do it one at the bed or at my computer. But yeah, I typically go about an hour when I jerk off and film a lot of it.
Yeah. Would it be harder to come without a camera now?
No, no, the camera doesn't really add or subtract anything. It's just
Okay.
kind of like the usual thing.
Yeah. I interviewed somebody once, and she said that she had been on camera for so many years that when she and her boyfriend had sex without a camera, it wasn't quite as easy to come without a
Really? Yeah.
camera.
Well, there's an excitement as being a voyeur, or not being a voyeur, but being an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain element of like if somebody's going to be getting off to this, that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if it's a woman who, knows how to find the airport and flies over here.
Yeah. So how has porn and OnlyFans and all this other fucking you do off camera, how has that all enriched your life over the years?
Financially or
No, I just mean like
just
no, emotionally or
I
personally.
I have very little stress in life. I never have to worry about my sex tape leaking or that picture of me in the shower leaking. You know what I mean? It's all out there, so I don't ever have to stress over that. Um, it's nice to be recognized in public, because usually it happens when you're just not even feeling that great. You're just having like a so-so day and somebody comes up and like, hey man, saw you fuck so and so. That was awesome. I'm like, cool. So you get your handshake or your high five, and it just kind of pumps you up for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
it's kind of fun.
Yeah. It makes you happy when people come up to you like that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you found a community, or did you used to have a community when you were in porn, or what's the difference?
I mostly dated women in porn back in the day,
Yeah.
and went to a lot of parties,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of them turned into big orgies, which was fun. And then I combined that with the swinging lifestyle, which I actually have more fun in than porn, because those people aren't getting paid for it. Those people are truly there for the right reasons. And yeah, it was kind of fun to have all that going along. When I'm 90, I'm going to be at the retirement home telling some really grand stories, but I have video proof of a lot of it. So
Yeah. I love swingers. Swingers to me are very friendly, and they take no better than anybody on the planet.
absolutely.
They adhere to rules, and
Their relationships are rock solid. I can't tell you how many people, when I was in law enforcement, unfortunately, I had to deal with domestic violence and stuff like that. And you see the very worst of relationships. And in the lifestyle, I've seen the very best. I've seen people so in love because it's in human nature to want a little variety. But instead of carrying around the guilt that you cheated or be in trouble or risk divorce, these people are all out in the open. Some people go bowling on Friday nights and some people go fuck strangers, but they do it together. And to see the strength of those relationships it's always just a privilege to be around people like that because they're truly living their best life and they have no stress, they have no jealousy, and they're just, I think swingers are some of the best relationships I've ever seen in my life as far as being solid. And
Yeah.
I know swingers that have been together for 35 years. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the divorce rate's not any worse, and the possessiveness.
But the way they love each other, the connection that they have, and they're celebrating it with you, is just something special. To the outsiders, who knowledge overcomes fear. If you know nothing of it, then you fear it or you question it.
Yeah.
But when you're in that world and you see how people love each other, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then you can be happy for each other to fuck somebody and come with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I always thought like I want to be in a relationship where someone comes home and I go, hey, how was your day? And they go, oh, I saw some people throwing frisbee, so I stopped and threw frisbee with them for a minute. And then I go, oh, that's cool. And I feel like that should be the same with sex. Like they come home and I go, how's your day? And they're like, oh man, I fucked this person in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, cool. Tell me all about it. It should be like you should be rooting for your lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the environment that I've been around since I was 23. I got introduced to that. Yeah.
But a lot of people can't let go of that possessiveness.
Jealousy is toxic, and it's a carcinogen to your soul. And if you look at the root of most problems, it's jealousy and deceitfulness and people cheating and stuff like that.
Deceitfulness.
And I hate that. I truly, truly hate that. And if people could be honest enough to say, hey, I'm a really sexual person, I don't want to be exclusive, I'll share with you. We could go to parties together, and it's like, the little hunt. There's 45 people at the party. Who are we going to fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that person looks like a really good, third rounder. We're going to save that person for the third
That's
round.
hilarious. Okay, let's say it's your birthday.
Okay.
You know what? You want to create a perfect birthday. So, would you be with one person, multiple people, yourself? Like, what would be a perfect birthday? You know, like romantically or sexually,
Like an
or
orgy, or like a 10-foot diameter lazy Susan of all you could eat pussy buffet. Eat this one out for half an hour and then go to the next one, and just keep on moving along.
Yeah.
Hello there.
And what would be the perfect amount? 10, you think?
I don't know. 5, 10.
Yeah.
something
I like the
that.
lazy Susan bed. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You should have that right now. How come you don't have that?
I just don't have I don't have the partners for that anymore. I had 9 at a swingers club once. That was pretty fun.
Oh wow.
And the last 3, when I took the condom off, there was no cum in it. Like, I was coming dry. Nothing was coming out after the 6th time.
After the 6th time, it's just like confetti.
Yeah. It was just air.
So I have asked this question of every single porn star for years.
Okay.
All right, so you know how people who like food are called foodies.
Okay.
But we don't have a term for people who like sex. Like sexy's taken. You can't say fucky because you can't get that in USA Today or CNN. Cummy, I like cummy, but that's too graphic for some people, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to brainstorm a word for people who are into sex that is cutesy, like foodie. Do you have any idea? Any idea?
Maybe just lover.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Cuddler. Because if I know that somebody's not going to cuddle me after sex, I won't have sex with them.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like cuddling after.
Right.
That's nice.
Cuddling is where it's at.
Yeah.
I like that you're into all this fucking and stuff, but you're still like a sweetie pie.
I am a sweet. I grew up on the Beatles, 200 plus songs about being in love and being kind and all that stuff. It kind of, it gets drilled into your head.
Yeah. Is there anything that I forgot to ask?
My OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/Jack Lawrence XXX. If you need a race car, I'm building race cars as a side gig. 917works, WORX.com. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Happy coming.
Thank you, Doug.